Hello everyone, welcome back to the second circle, a Helltaker demo. Fangame. Let's go ahead and continue. So we should be okay to go with Lucifer today, so let's see and find out. Ah, Taker, I've been looking for you. Really? I've been doing some thinking since our last chat, and I believe you're correct. Naturally, but run the specifics by me again. You're absolutely right about the amount of work I do. I should let someone else assist me in my jobs. And I've got just the person in mind. Let me guess. Tall, muscular, dashingly handsome, and with an insufferably high opinion of himself, apparently. Grab some lunch. We're going on a little business trip. Huh? Where to? Where do you think? We're going back to Hell. I'm going to try and take things a little easier and work more from the house, rather than basing all my operations from Hell. What part do I play in this adventure? Happy meal. The skeletons are on strike again, and I need someone to help me carry all the paperwork back to the mortal world. Do you have any idea how many cases I have to review every day? We got thousands of souls joining our kingdom by the hour. That does sound overwhelming. I'd be more than happy to accompany you and help out however I can. However, what is your concern? Well, with everything that's been going on, I'm not sure how comfortable I feel leaving the house for long periods of time. I wouldn't worry. We won't be gone long. But if it will make you feel better, you could deputize one of the more responsible demons to act in our absence. That's an excellent idea. But who do you trust to keep the peace while you're gone? Only two other demons really fit that role, but which one to choose? Alright, Justice. Justice! You need something? Lucifer and I are going back to Hell for a little while. Would you mind making sure the three dingbats don't burn the local preschool down while we're gone? Sure thing. Mind if we order out tonight? Cerberus will probably stick around and behave if she knows we're getting pizza. That shouldn't be a problem. Just make sure to leave us enough to eat when we get back. Well, I'm relatively certain the house isn't going to go up in flames for at least another 24 hours. Plenty of time for us to make our little business trip, I should think. Turning on the spot, Lucifer waves her hand, opening up a red-tinged portal in the center of the living room. The acrid smell of brimstone permeates the air, causing your eyes to stream. Come along then, Taker. We haven't all day. You follow her into the swirling energy of the portal. The feeling of traveling between realities varies greatly depending on who's providing the means of transportation. Lucifer's method of travel matches the dimensional equivalent of a limousine. Smooth, classy, and about as comfortable as having all your atoms reconfigured can actually be. Shadowy shapes blur past the two of you, eventually forming themselves into black and crimson trappings of Hell. You recognize the space as Lucifer's office, her polished black desk overflowing with papers and work. You start to take a step forwards, or stop by a well-manicured, unyielding hand on your shoulder. Don't move. Hold still for a second. I forgot to give you something. She extends her hand. A small pentacle is suspended from a silver chain lays flat against your palm. This should protect you from the miasma of Hell. After all, what good is an assistant who can only take a distant steps before bursting into flames? Lucifer leans in close and clasps the chain behind your neck. There, you're all safe now. But do me a favor and try not to destroy any skeletons that you happen to run into, okay? I'll try. The two of you walk over to the desk. Lucifer visibly winces as a stack of papers falls over, adding its contents to already a sizable mess that covers the ground. I can see we got our work cut out for us. Indeed, fortunately. Lucifer twirls her fingers in the air and two slick, shiny briefcases materialize out of thin air. It feels good to have my full powers back at my disposal. The mortal world hinders my abilities to some degree. Trying to cast a spell up there is like trying to paint a picture with weights strapped to my hands. She hands you one of the briefcases. Snapping it open, you suspect that there is no way that its modest interior can contain the sheer quantity of paper strewn across the room. Do you want these separated in any particular fashion, or... I wouldn't worry about it. I'm used to separating the important documents from the routine ones anyways. The clerical demons have adopted print them all and let Lucifer sort them out, as a principal model with regards to bureaucracy. The two of you begin stuffing papers into suitcases. Despite their modest size, they never seem to quite fill up, no matter how many documents are placed inside them. While the novelty of the suitcases distracts you momentarily, you soon become bored with the task at hand. Say, Lucifer. Yes? Let's see. Let's ask about Zdrada and Melina. I've never heard of demon sisters before. How did Melina and Zdrada come to be? Their origins are far from auspicious, as far as I am aware. Zdrada made quite the name for herself during Hell's more tumultuous years, but never enough to warrant serious attention or concern from the higher ranking demons. And Melina? Next to nothing. Up until Lords of Hell were overthrown, not a single demon I've spoken to can attest to her existence. Once the new order was imposed, reports of a sour demon with an unhealthy lust for addictive mortal vices began circulating among the clerical demons. Interesting. How do most demons come to be anyways? I believe the term best suited to describing the phenomenon to you would be gravity. Down here in the hell, over thousands of years, emotions and impulses packed together, occurring more and more until finally birthing a brand new demon. Like cause to like, so most demons have demonstrable inclinations towards their founding feelings. Anger, laziness, deceit, ambition, all foundational clay from which a demon can be born. And what then? Are demons just born sharply dressed and consumed by their hungers? Fortunately, no. Many of us have a guiding hand to help us along the way. In the depths of hell, there's an immensely powerful demon who takes it upon herself to foster and shape the infant demons that she comes across. Few demons make it very far without her helping hand. Her name is Lilith. But to denizens of hell, she is known as the Mother Demon. She sounds fascinating. I wonder where she came from. The two spend the whole next hour or so engaged in speculation about the civil state of hell and how it compares to that of Earth. Eventually, if you won't mind finishing up with the packing, I have an old friend to catch up with before we leave. You don't mind doing the last little bit, do you? Of course not. As you were then, I won't be away for long. Lucifer departs the room, leaving you to finish packing the papers into briefcases. Before long you stuff the last of papers in the briefcase, forcing the lid shut with moderate effort. You look around the room. Lucifer has not yet returned. 5 minutes later, and still no sign of Hell's president. Unperturbed by her absence, you start peering down the various corridors, wondering what could be down them. As long as I don't go kicking any skeletons, surely she won't mind if I look around a little. Most of the rooms you travel through are scenes of hectic activity. Small imps struggle to stable gargantuan folders together, The nearby printer snatches an unsuspecting succubus out the air with a long, sticky tongue. Various break rooms dot the office, and inside catch glimpses of the occasional demon or skeleton drinking tea brewed with a scurrying bag of human souls. You're unchallenged as you stride through the office, and while one or two lesser devils do try to catch your eye, the sight of the amulet around your neck proves sufficient to dissuade any unwanted attention. Several rooms later, you come across a peculiar facet of architecture. In an abandoned, run-down part of the castle, two massive obsidian doors stand. Bowed outward from within, it appears as though these doors have been damaged trying to contain some immense force. The doors are ajar, and you very much doubt they could even fully close, given their degree of disfigurement. Might as well have a look inside. Stepping through the twisted doors, you find yourself in an enormous, devastated hall. Sulphurous air flows freely in and out of jagged holes torn through the walls. Looking around, you realize this place must have once been an audience chamber, a lavish room where the denizens of hell must have come to pay tribute to their lords. Some massive explosion must have once long ago vaporized the room and its inhabitants. The mighty blast had bent the stone walls outward as easily as if they had been made of cloth, and tattered holes giving passing views a nightmare vista of hell. At the far end of the shattered hall, 4 black monoliths stand, massive thrones of ebony untouched by the desolation that surrounds them. Among the base of these pillars lay strewn dozens upon dozens of broken tools, picks snapped in half at the handles, shovels, heads bent and cast aside. Looks as though someone has tried very, very hard to destroy these surviving relics. Standing before the thrones, head slumped, stands Lucifer, Queen of Hell. You begin to pick your way over the rubble, moving towards her. Lucifer? Why are you all the way out here? I thought you were catching up with a friend. The Queen of Hell slowly turns, and you see something in her eyes that stops you dead in your tracks. Tears. She makes a muted gesture to a small polished stone slate propped on the ground before her. I am. It's been a long time since I last came to visit her. She gestures to the polished tablet. The stone marks a spot where my greatest ally paid the price for my naivete. She gave up her name, her identity, to assist me in my ascent to the thrones of hell. We were sick of seeing the former lords squander their power and influence on self-indulgences. We want to be better, to make things different, to make things right in hell. We mortals have a certain saying regarding paving roads with good intentions. With the strength of the High Prosecutor Justice, we challenge the ruling demon lords, primal incarnations of sloth, greed, gluttony, and wrath. After a terrible battle, we toppled them from their thrones, onto the floor where the rest of us walked. Standing there above them, we truly believed we won a decisive victory. Flushed with our idealism, we turned our backs on those we conquered. We showed them mercy. Voice breaks, and tears begin to flow down her cheeks in earnest. Our mercy was repaid in blood and betrayal. As her last vicious action, the incarnation of wrath struck my friend through the heart, sacrificing her own power to take something precious from me. We can't kill them, so instead we broke them. We rendered their dynamic forms asunder and scattered them into the mortal world. We took all they had and cast them out. What happened to them after that, I do not know. Was it all you thought it would be? Lucy returns to you, her gaze piercing, despite the tears still beating at the corners of her eyes. Of course it wasn't. There isn't a day that goes by that I'm not reminded of the price I paid for power. It's one of the reasons I come here, to remind myself of the cost of ambition. May I pay my respects to her as well? Of course. As you kneel to pay your respects, you notice an epitaph, a small name etched onto a memorial. Wait. This name looks like... Well, how could that be? Something the matter? It's nothing. There must be a reason Lucifer omitted that demon's name from the tale. Whatever the full story is, you're unlikely to get it here. Not now, and not from Lucifer. Let's return home then. Once more, Lucifer opens up a portal and the two of you step through it, back to the mortal world. What in? As the house starts to take shape around you, something seems off. It looks like some kind of party bomb went off in the living area. Board games, pizza boxes, and empty glasses litter the room. Judging from the bottles littering the floor, Justice even managed to coax down Melina from her room to join in the festivities. Reclining on the couch, thoroughly entwined with the sleeping bodies of Cerberus, Justice gives you a wink and puts a finger to her lips. You gesture at the mayhem surrounding you, and Justice gestures helplessly at the snoozing demon surrounding her. You hope that means she'll take responsibility for cleaning up come morning. You lean over and whisper in Lucifer's ear. I'm beat. I think I'll clock out for the night. You hold up the briefcases. Want me to drop these off in your room before I hit the hay? If you would, and thank you. Thank you for coming with me. Somewhere close by. Idiots! Is it really so hard to follow a simple rule, Do not engage. Are your minds so degraded that I had to write instructions down on your hands before I send you out for reconnaissance? In fairness, my queen, they weren't looking for us this time. Shut it, Mammon. Need I remind you as your lack of control that attracted the Hellhound in the first place? If you hadn't succumbed to your baser impulses, our movements could have continued unnoticed. It's not my fault you lack proper leadership skills. Besides, if I recall correctly, we're the ones doing you the favor here. Unless you've found an alternative solution to deal with your problem. That's enough of your insubordination. Even in my current state, I can still muster the strength to bear you to beat you to the ground 100 times over. Wow, so that's what Satanas looks like. She's pretty hot. You're quite finished adjusting us down. I'm going to head out. I have a shift starting in 20 minutes. Abaddon, got you. Oh, I see, got you. Abby. Right. I'll just be on my way as well. You won't wriggle out of this one, Mammon. We still have more to discuss. Oh. Your disguise has been pierced. The Hellhound has your scent. You're now far too much of a liability to send out on your own. She won't be in more trouble. She can't make a move on her own. A move on me unless she has justifiable cause to act. Yes, but unless you've forgotten, there are 8 more individuals in her household who are under no such restrictions. For the time being, your job as reconnaissance is at an end. What? You can't bench me? Who's gonna do all the recon work if not for good old Mammon? Our resident busybody should suffice for observation. She's already proved to be several times more competent than you, Mammon. And unlike you, she's never clashed with them directly. Perhaps it's just in her nature to avoid physical engagements. Besides, I do still have a task for you, and one befitting your potential. Now that you've been snipped out by the Hellhound, our enemy will know of our presence. I suspect action will soon be taken against us. It only seems fitting then that we will put our ace in the hole for a preemptive strike. Does it not? You can't mean you're actually going to let her on this. Thanks to your blunders, I can see another viable option. Can you? But you've known her longer than most. You've seen the sorts of things she's done. Are you sure you want to turn her loose? We'll lose all pretense of subtlety. Which is why you'll be responsible for managing her out in the field, for keeping collateral damage to an acceptable degree. You want to get your hands dirty, so this ought to be quite a reward for you, no? You want me to act as damage control for... No, you don't understand. Have you seen the messes that Belle leaves behind? No way, no how am I getting anywhere near that? So, that's how it's going to be. You're just going to shirk away. Abandon your duty just like you always have. I seem to recall a time when the four of us were poised to lose everything. But you, no. Memory is a funny thing. Because I seem to recall only 3 of us trying to keep what was ours. Belphegor might forget, and Abaddon might forgive your craven actions. But I shall do neither, Mammon, and you do well to remember it. So, what's it to be? Will you do as you're told for once in your miserable existence? Or am I going to be forced to render you as spineless as your actions thus far profess you to be? I'll take that as a yes. Now, all that remains then is to explain the situation to your new partner. Belphegor? Present. What do you need, Sati? You can't just pop up like that, Belle. Belphegor, you were listening? Only in the beginning, then I got kinda bored. Do you know then that I'm offering you an active role in this? Wow, Sati, you must really be feeling that heat if you're considering letting me off the leash. Though it pains me to admit, you have recovered far more of your former powers than the rest of us. The time has come to play them against our common enemy. Mammonier has kindly volunteered to be your guide in this venture. No thanks, I don't really need weaklings to chaperone me. Besides, I already know where they live. I visit the house several times to people watch. Take her with you anyways. She might prove to be useful. Doubtful. But I'll try my best to make her feel included, promise. And speaking of useless things, what am I to do with this chateau that might get in the way? As long as that particular individual remains untouched, you may do as you will with the others. Yes! Oh, this is gonna be so much fun! Come on, Fleabag, no need to look like such a sourpuss. I know, we can get some cotton candy in the way. That'll cheer you up. Hey, Lego! Ow, stop dragging! Stannis! Help me! And now our game begins in earnest. Your move. Usurper.